Today, we're going to be demoing Flux, the flagship product of Flogistix by Flowco. Flux is a platform to help you manage all of your assets. So what we're looking at right now is what we call the main dashboard. And the main dashboard is going to give you an overview of your fleet-wide runtime performance, the total assets you have, and then some statuses that they're in. I'm in demo mode, but obviously you wouldn't have blurred out information. So a few things let's look into. This is the emissions calculator, which really is a convincing metric on the economics of a vapor recovery unit. In the month of February to March, we have abated fleet-wide 1,856,462 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent. Now, this is a beta feature, so there's definitely some small error in this number because we are assuming all units are using one gas analysis from a well. However, you could manage your gas analysis for each well and have a very accurate number of your fleet-wide emissions. We also have the decoder, and the decoder is a huge feature inside of Flux that allows you to get access to your units from wherever you are. So we would choose your organization, or in this case, if you're logged in, your organization will be selected, and we enter in a value. This value is going to give you a unique code based off some permission set to allow you to log into the unit. This is true at the edge and also from your desktop. One of the big key values of Flux in the decoder app is that you can optimize a unit from anywhere. Then there's reporting. Reporting is crucial and really a keystone in the Flux platform. You can create all kinds of reports on the data that we're collecting on your assets, as well as schedule them. So you don't really have to worry about getting in here and messing with the app. And then finally, we have notifications. And this allows me or you to see what's going on with a unit, whether it's faulting, it's alarming, or when it goes back to a running state without having to check on the unit in person, right? So here we can see that for this asset, I'm getting all notifications. And I chose to have these sent to me by text message. However, you could also get those by email. But let's dig into the really interesting stuff. Suppose I'm really interested in a specific unit. And in this case, we'll look at this FX10. It's a smaller unit compared to the larger FX17 and FX20s, but we have a lot of really interesting information here. Let's use this unit as an example. Here we see the unit header. This is super crucial information as we can know the mechanical availability, the status, and the time we last communicated with the unit right at a glance. We have IP information coming straight from the modem, the ability to call a mechanic, navigate to a unit, with the proper permissions, access the unit profile, and manage the notifications on this unit. Let's go ahead and subscribe. These are the asset statistics. These are the last known values. In this case, the last time we knew the runtime was 98.1, so these values will match. If we hadn't communicated in quite some time, that might not be the case. This information is really important at a glance for both the field service techs and you at your desk to know what is the health of the unit. But furthermore, charts and telemetry is where it really gets interesting. We understand that customers have a lot of SCADA systems and a lot of platforms to log into. So if for whatever reason you need this data, we have an API available. But for the sake of this demo, we do believe that Flux is the best way to consume this data. Here, you're going to see suction pressure overlaid with the set point. You'll see here that the unit is targeting around this set point. The closer this value is to that set point, the better off. We can also see max flow capacity and what we call virtual flow rate. Virtual flow rate is an algorithm that we have built internally that we believe gives customers the ability to see what their flow is without having a physical flow meter on site. Here we want to see that the flow rate is hovering somewhere below the max flow capacity, because if there's a surge, for here, for example, we know that the unit was capable of capturing that. If we saw this green line surge beyond the blue line, that tells us that this unit might be undersized and we're not capable of capturing all the surges at the well, which means you're likely venting or flaring. This is a great indicator of the health of your unit and the size that you're looking for. We also have some interesting information around speed and speed set points, injection and discharge pressures, and a ton of other information. And should this not be enough for you, we've also created the ability to allow for people to create their own charts on any of the information that we're able to capture. But let's get into like the real power of what Flux can do. Sure, we see there's some conditions, right? We have a suction pressure, we have a set point that we're targeting on. But we can come and look at events. We see that a unit went from ready to running, running to waiting to auto start, waiting to auto start, back to running, and has been in a running condition ever since. This is great news. But let's say that the unit had faulted at some point in time. That information would show up here, and I'd also get a text message to suggest so. I can then come and look at the work orders. We have a proprietary platform called Flowworks that allows us to capture all work order data internally and then surface it up through Flux. We're not limited by the third-party applications tools. We have all of this data right at our fingertips. So here what you're seeing is all the work orders. We can see the work order ID, who did the work order, what kind of work order it was, and the job safety analysis. I could click into the JSA or I could click directly into the work order and see everything that the mechanic did on site, how long they were there, and what was wrong with the unit. I can once again access the decoder here, so if I needed to log into this specific unit, I can do it from here as well. I can see this unit's contributions to the fleet-wide emissions calculations, and in this particular example, from February 18th to March 18th, this unit has contributed 387 metric tons of CO2 abated. This is where it gets really interesting with the economics, because we can show you the vapor composition breakdown, the mole percentages provided, and even how we're getting those values. The importance of this vapor composition breakdown is that you can see the MMBTUs recovered as well as the NGLs recovered, because those both have dollar values. Most recently, we have added notes to the platform. This was a customer request and one that's been a great hit. Notes allows us to give some kind of information about the unit from the desktop, and anyone looking at this unit can see it. And then we have more information. And more information is all of the relevant data we're pulling out of the unit profile and putting right here on the unit, from its location to its serial number, its last PM date, and its next PM date. Everything you need to know about the unit is in one place. Thanks so much for joining me of this demo of Flux. Truly, Flux is all about harnessing the power of a technology ecosystem. If you have more questions about Flux or the rest of the Flogistix technology, you can visit flogistix.com/software and technology. Thanks.